Good evening and welcome back to the West Ham Network. We've just seen West Ham draw 0-0 with Southampton, taking a point away from home at the St Mary's. Dan, we done the match day live, mate. What is your brief kind of overview thoughts before we start to dissect the game, mate?
Could have done better, should have done better. But a decent 0-0 draw. Both teams had their chances. Respect the point.
Yep, respect the point. That's it. That's exactly the way it should be. Now, listen, I must apologise. I did say we'd be coming on at 8 o'clock. I totally forgot we had something we were doing this evening, so I couldn't do it at 8 o'clock. So we just thought we'd come on a bit earlier. So we probably are not going to be notifying many people of our channel subscriptions. So hopefully through time, they start to see we're live and people will pick up and come on to the show. But yeah, a 0-0 draw. I think for me personally, Dan, you know, I came into the game feeling probably overly confident. We had a look at the lineup from Southampton, and that overly confident became maybe a bit too confident. And then the game itself just, you know, transpired into that kind of 0-0 draw. Now, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a boring 0-0 draw, but probably for me, just a disappointment of a 0-0 draw. But like you said, have to learn to be able to respect the draw and respect the point, which is what we should do. Now, let's get into the game itself. Let's look at the starting lineups. We spoke about this before on the highlights and words. In the Matchday Live, and we look at the West Ham starting lineup. No changes from the last game, but with a strong bench. What was your initial thoughts, honestly, when you looked at the starting lineup?
I initially thought I was disappointed Zuma wasn't starting. I wasn't sure he would. I didn't think he would. But part of me hoped that it would be Zuma for Dawson.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's a winning team. It's a winning formula. It's that team there did fine for us last season. Why can't they do it this season?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was happy with the options. More happy with the options we had on the bench than we did.
Well, we see there from the bench, we've got Areola, Diop, Zuma, Fredericks, Krul, Noble, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, and Vlasic, who we will come on to in a minute because we do know he was substituted on. But for me, to be honest with you, Dan, I mean, I was happy with the team selection. I think we know Moyes tends to go with what he knows best, especially even if he does sign new players. It's going to take a while for them to bed in. The Southampton team, though, you kind of dissected that a lot before we went live, and they were missing or didn't start with what we would have thought, according to the Southampton fans, the strongest 11. What did you think?
Mate, I thought it would be a walkover for us. I didn't think it was a strong side at all. I was very confident.
Yeah,
and I was still of that opinion. You know, I don't think it was their better side. They just did their heads for dealing with us was anytime West Ham get the ball, run back to the box. Yeah. Absolutely. But, you know, they have a couple of good players in there, to be honest, and I thought a couple of them did show their worth today. I thought El Yunusi was reasonably effective for Southampton today. They did have a couple of chances in the second half, which we will talk about as such. But let's get into the game itself, Dan. And if you're in the chat, please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on all of the game, and, you know, your generic thoughts. We'll go through the comments as well. But listen, the first 15, 20 minutes, there was no clear-cut chances really for any team. And it was just that kind of generic watching a football match thinking, when is this game going to liven up? Really, nothing to report. What was your thoughts? I think, was there a bit of a hangover from the international break? No one took control of the game for the first 15, 20 minutes. It was just backwards and forwards. But it was a bit like a friendly. You have a go, we have a go, you have a go, we have a go. It was like tennis with a ball, with a football. Yeah. Nothing up to that point. I don't think there was any chances, no clear runs. Nobody really making space. It was just lose the ball, both teams losing the ball.
Yeah.
Backwards and forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. It really was. It wasn't over top exciting game, and I think that's something again as West Ham fans we need to get our heads around is the fact that sometimes we don't. For me, I don't know how to manage my expectations of West Ham. I'll be honest. I'm either all the way committed to us being an over the top fantastic side that's going to take on any team and score 20 odd goals or whatever, or then we're going to collapse and fall to a horrible defeat when we really shouldn't. But the thing is, we started, I would say, in the second part of the first half to see West Ham progressively moving forward, maybe starting to take control of the game. I mean, who would you kind of put the plaudits down to that to? Fornals?
There's Fornals and Cresswell, the way they were laying each other off and getting down the wing. The quick 1-2s, one running around the back. And away they went.
Yeah. And so
that really pushed us down, and it made it. It kind of caught Southampton up to that point were quite confident, and it seemed to catch them on the back foot.
Yeah.
And they were then paranoid about us getting hold of the ball and pushing forward.
I see some people in the comments, and I think it was. Let me just see where the comments are. Where is it? Gary J makes a valid point. Do you think there was a hangover today? Do you think that performance was a hangover from the international break, considering the players that we had out on international duty?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think so. Not just, aside from every other week, they've obviously flown around different countries, so there's possible jet lag or not much, but they've obviously been training and playing with different players, not their homegrown players. So there's a different mentality of football with international level than there is. Obviously, they've got different coaches, different managers expecting different things. So I think it does take a little bit of a settling period when you do come back to your home club, as well as, again, there will be some fatigue there.
Yeah, definitely.
Both mentally and physically.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just going to send the link out to a couple of people who are asking for it, so we'll hopefully get some stuff coming to you live. But then it came to halftime, myself, you, Russ, Matt, my dad, we're all sitting on the watch along match day live. We're sitting there discussing what do we need to do to change this game up. I think we thought it probably needs a little bit of a spark, but we probably predicted we weren't going to see that spark very quickly. To be fair to you though, you did say give it 15, 20 minutes and I could see a change happening. But we came out into the second half with no substitutions made, and very quickly West Ham found themselves in the Saints half. He set up a back heel to Antonio for a shot at goal, but the forward's well-struck effort was well saved from McCarthy at the near post. So we had the first real proper opportunity for West Ham in the second half. What did you think of the centre-halves for Southampton? I thought they were a bit wary, a bit sticky, and I don't think really West Ham challenged them much.
They were very CDM. They were more worried about being able to get back defensively than they were pushing forward. As when Southampton did push forward, it was only like one or two players trying to break through. Their centre-half didn't really leave the halfway line until we were they were very deep into our half.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just felt, in particular,
they were skittles. They were just obstacles to get round. Yeah. They weren't. They didn't really do much. They just got in the way.
Well, that was the thing. I think what they did was they tried to man mark Antonio, and they tried to put as many men on him as possible. They were trying to kick lumps out of him. They were pushing him. They were nipping away at him all game, weren't they?
Generally there was free round him whenever he had the ball.
All the times. And West Ham were playing the ball into Antonio, and every time he was receiving the ball, he was on the edge of the box with his back to goal. Now, you really want Antonio with his back to goal inside the box, and at that point, he can then try and turn and shoot. But he was never going to do that from 20, 25 yards out. So we just couldn't really find that penetrating ball through to Antonio in the 18-yard box that would allow Antonio to do what he does best, I suppose you could say.
Or at least have that ball coming into him, maybe a couple of yards, 3 yards to one side, so he can run on it and turn on it rather than be there and he's got a man behind him one either side and he's pretty much trapped. If it was a moving ball, he could make that challenge for that, the 50-50, which he does very well, and just get that shot on it on a turn.
Yeah, of course. West Ham then got a corner in about the 50-odd minute, and it literally, I thought it was going to land on Dawson's head, to be honest. I literally, when you see that replay again, he is towering above the rest of the defenders. I think that picture there you can see is him on his, on his way up there. But it missed his and Souček's head. That's a clear-cut chance. And to be honest with you, Dan, I think if that had gone on Dawson's head, I don't think there would have been any stopping that going at the goal. But I mean, that's me trying my best to pick to you a real strong opportunity for any side. But then what that led to was a little bit of tennis, a little bit of football tennis. Oh. I mean, Southampton attacked, went on the break up the field, and Nathan Redmond, you could questionably say, made the wrong choice. He had teammates sitting in good positions, but he hit the shot and went over the bar. And at that point, you start to think to yourself, right, okay, what are West Ham going to do here now?
I mean, if you can just put that picture up, I'm going to go back to that because a lot of people in the chat have given Dawson a stick. But if you look at that picture, there's 4 guys in the air. He's the only one watching the ball. He's the only one with the eyes on the prize. The others are either looking the wrong way or wincing. So respect to him there. There's arms flinging everywhere, and he's still got his eyes on the prize. Yeah, he does, mate. He does. The other thing, going back to that corner, if I remember rightly, didn't it pass through them and the ball spilled almost onto Ogbonna's feet? We nearly got a scrappy little tap in from Oggy there. Yeah, absolutely. A couple of minutes later, though, Southampton made the first substitution of the game. Diallo replaced Romeu. He got a yellow card very early on in the first half, so I think that was probably a bit of a tactical decision because I think they were getting a bit, they were getting a rough and tumble around Antonio. Very quickly after that, Ben Rama's cross from the right side found Souček in the box, but he could not head the ball towards goal, went over the bar. An hour gone, and then Southampton, they were still really waiting for a breakthrough. However, they did get a chance when Perau broke clear from the left byline before picking out Armstrong, but his header flashed off target. And this is when West Ham decided to make a change, and we got to see our new signing, Vlasic, come on the field. What did you think of Vlasic, mate? He came in ready to prove himself, didn't he? He was all engines go. Yeah. He came in and he did make a difference. He made a nuisance of himself to attacking. When he either had the ball or he didn't, he was just making runs here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, and he was the one that as soon as he came on, he was on the pitch for 2 minutes. And if you're a footballer, even if you're not, you would have noticed him and thought, "We need to watch this guy." Yeah. So it would have taken the heat off of our other players who maybe say where Antonio had always had 3 defenders around him, but not only forward, he got back. Yeah, he tracked back. Very good in a defensive position. He was when needed to be. Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to say he ran his legs off because he didn't come in till the 61st minute when everybody else had obviously been out there for an hour. But he's one to watch. What I saw of him, very pleased. I was just going to say, so we've played 25 minutes for West Ham today, and I thought he kind of made a nuisance of himself, like you said, very quickly. He came in and he clipped the ball from deep in the midfield and sprayed the ball out wide, or he tracked back, like you said, making good tackles. And he was causing a bit of concern for Southampton, and you thought to yourself, all right, okay, we've obviously unearthed something here, but we need to be mindful and remember the fact that he is a new player to the West Ham squad, so he's going to take a little while to get himself settled in. Do you see any similarities between him and any West Ham players from modern era or the past? Souček just came straight in full of confidence. Yeah. What about the style of play, though? One player in particular, I kind of, I could see him being utilised very similar to is Arnautovic, to be honest. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I can see that now you said it. Yeah. He had, not only did he have the confidence of what he was doing with the ball, but to take players on in their own box. Yeah, absolutely. There was one where I think the ball come in and it hit him on the chest and he turned on it, moved the ball so it came in like that, and he turned it as it was facing goal and went to have a go, but unfortunately, as always happened in that game, there was 3 defenders in front of him, but very, very closely got a toe onto it to get a shot off. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Very quickly after that, though, Bowen came with a really, really strong opportunity. I think it was the 70th minute. He had a close-range volley
over for where the keeper was called upon and made a really good save. How did you rate Bowen today? This is him obviously gutted that the chance didn't go in.
One of our better players.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a massive Bowen fan, as any regular watchers know of the show. But today, I mean, he's one of those that, I don't want to say unsung hero because a lot of fans like him, but it's not what he does. It's not the goals he gets. It's not the assists he gets. It's the non-stop running and trying. He's just an absolute workhorse. And he's not the biggest player in the world. And you normally save that the description for, two broad shoulders workhorse, but he just does not stop.
No, he doesn't, does he?
You can rely on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him and Soufal again are as good as I'd put the Pablos, the Fornals and Cresswell duo. Yeah. He works very, very well with Soufal, and Soufal was one of our better players, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bowen's up there with him.
After that opportunity, we then started to see Mr. Antonio, a.k.a. Mark Henry, go into the referee's book for body slamming Stevens after a bit of a hustle and tussle on the halfway line. And to be fair, I mean, I'm not trying to justify anything, but they were all over Antonio all game, and they had a tactic. They had a tactic, and they probably played that tactic out quite well, which was, we're going to frustrate him, we're willing to get a couple of yellow cards, we're going to push him about, we're going to make him angry, we're going to get him pissed off. And they did. And Antonio, the guy was trying to wrestle Antonio to the floor, had not a single chance of doing it. Antonio decided to pick him up. And as he picked him up and went to throw him down, he kind of tried to catch him before he could fall down to go like, oh, there you go, but then I'll maybe pick you up. He got himself a yellow card.
Well worth it. It was like the highlight of the game.
Literally.
They poked the bear. They got body slammed.
Yeah. Southampton, found themselves on the break. They go forward. Broja, I don't know how you pronounce his name, picks up the ball just inside his own half. He beat Dawson from the lunge, powering forward, driving a low shot from the right edge, hit the bottom left-hand post. I genuinely thought, because he was struggling to see where he was going to go, he was struggling for pace, players were catching up, and he just took an opportunity and he shot from distance and it hit the post and it bounced out. And at that point, I'm not going to lie to you, Dan, I was starting to worry, God, we could concede here, but not because Southampton were playing well, but because we'd gone so long 0-0, and it was the opportunity going, it was just back and forth, really, and Southampton were shooting and taking an opportunity. We could have walked away with no points here. What was your thought at that point? 81 minutes gone, they've hit the post.
Head was in my hands. Yeah. We hit the post, the ball come out, and I think was very lucky, very, very lucky there, because the ref got in the way on that rebound. I mean, a Southampton player could have got it. One of our players was running for it. I can't remember who it was, possibly Soufal, most likely Soufal, got the clear on it. But one of their Southampton players was running on it, and as they've come from right to left to go for the ball, the referee's running away from the ball, and it just kind of blocked him off. Yeah. So we was lucky there. The issue with that shot there is, if that didn't put the wind up yet, it was that Southampton all of a sudden found their courage. They'd gone from sitting back, we'll get a draw here, or, we'll be happy with a point, to all of a sudden they were like, hang on a minute, we could do this.
Yeah, and it was a bit from them hitting that post. It was a bit like they took control for the last 10 minutes, and West Ham started to kind of maybe panic a little bit, seeing that they were building up to something. I mean, they had straight away after that, they had another chance. Immediately after that, I think there was a couple of not great decisions from the Southampton players. Liveramento's ball in from the right flank finds Diallo, who turns well, only to fire over from 6 yards out. David Moyes made a substitution, brought Yarmolenko on the park for Jared Bowen. Ogbonna goes down injured. We've got 5 minutes stoppage time. What happens straight after the time limit goes up? Declan Rice clears the ball off the line. Mate, I mean, it was a great clearance. It really was. However, it was squeaky bum time at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I nearly swallowed my chair. Because it's not just, I mean, nowadays with VAR and goal line technology, he got the clear, and you're like, and then you get a few seconds of, and then it's like, hang on, what's going to happen? You get that deep feeling of dread. But I mean, Deckers, what a save! What a save!
We'll come over the players in a minute. couple of more bookings in stoppage time, and then suddenly they got what they wanted, which was Antonio sent off. However, it was literally in the last 20 or 30 seconds. It was just a late tackle. It wasn't dangerous. There was no malice in the tackle. It was just a late challenge. And he got a second yellow, and he found himself sent off, which means he will get 1 game ban, and it will be for the Premier League. So therefore, he will miss the Manchester United game next weekend, which I'm gutted about because I'm coming to the game. However, I did say in the Matchday Live that will just make a decision for Moyes now. Antonio will be available for the Europa League game, and maybe he'll just go out there and put Antonio on the park for that game, because we know that he wouldn't be able to play the Thursday, Sunday on the back of this game that the weekend played. So, I mean, disappointing to see a player sent off, but you can see why it's maybe okay. Is that weird for me saying that?
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. I mean, you can't blame Antonio for what happened. Their players got away with a lot worse tackle-wise. All right, the first one, they'd been kicking the shit out of him for 60-odd minutes.
Yeah.
So, and he rose to that. But the second booking was pathetic. It was, if he hadn't have had the first, he would have got away with it, I think. Yeah. As far as, I mean, we want a challenge for Europa, and having Antonio now, the choice is made. He's going to play in Europa, miss United, and a lot of fans are up in arms. Oh, we should have bought a striker. Now we've lost a striker. Antonio's not a striker. He's a right back that plays in a striker position and scores goals. Yeah, he does score goals. Yes, it would have been nice to have him. It's not the end of the world. Someone else will play in that position. Yeah,
it looks like we're going to go down that route now of a false 9, unless they do something a little bit different. But Europa League, I think the thing what we're going to see with Antonio is, I'm actually in a really odd way thinking. I'm quite glad that I now pretty much think we're going to guarantee see Antonio in Europa League, because I don't know how many of European teams' defences will be able to handle the likes of Antonio, Mr. Mark Henry. I think he will cause problems in Europe, I really do. And I tell you what, Dan, if he does go to Europe and he does perform well and he does get a couple of goals, or he just has a really good performance, and then he misses the Premier League game, he's coming off a good performance. So it's probably worked out well that there's a game in between the Premier League game, giving him the opportunity to bounce back. And I think sometimes, if you have a bog standard performance, if you can get away with that and get a point, like you said, a respectable point, then it means that you can brush that performance aside a little bit, Dan, a little bit like the first half performance against Newcastle, first game of the season. We weren't up to scratch. However, we came back out the second half and took the game to Newcastle. And today's game was a little bit like Southampton and West Ham weren't up to scratch. And none of them came out and changed it, really, did they?
No. There was moments where anything could have happened.
Yeah.
But either side. I mean, a lot of people said it's a boring game. I thought it's quite an exciting game. For a 0-0. Yeah. 0-0s are normally dull and boring. But there were moments at both ends of the park where either team could have done it. And we were up and down quite a bit, especially during the second half. Yeah. There was plenty of chances either side.
Well, on that...
There was just not one team made that breakthrough, made that turnaround like we did against, say, Newcastle.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on a second. I need to put this one up. Up, 2 down, Hammers. Did you win that top, mate? I'm absolutely buzzing for you. Well done. I don't know if you've seen that top, Dan. Antonio signed and framed shot with TV playing along his goals in LED lights.
That was a great prize.
Yeah, it was a great prize. So well done. Up, 2 down, Hammers. I'm delighted for you, mate. Absolutely delighted for you, mate.
See, it's not just West Ham Network staff that
got to be in it to win it. Absolutely. Southampton, how many chances do you think they had in the game? You've got it in front of you, don't you? There, go on then.
3 shots on target. They had 11 shots.
11 shots to West Ham's 13. Both teams had 3 shots on target. Southampton had 5 off target to West Ham's 3 that were off target. Southampton had 3 block shots. West Ham had 7 block shots. West Ham had the highest percentage of the game today, 58%, to Southampton's 42% as well. And yeah, it was just that kind of game. Do you know what? One, you can put down as a point. You know, we're sitting in 5th position, Dan. We're 4 games into the season. We're unbeaten, and we're
unbeaten.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. But do you know what I will take away from today more than anything?
Clean sheet.
Clean sheet, mate.
Clean
I think that is really, really big for West Ham. I really do. I think Moyes will walk away feeling reasonably positive about that. And the fact of the matter is, he's committed to sticking with Dawson and O'Connor. But he's got Diop, he's got Fredericks, and he's got Zuma on the bench. And those 2 lads and that defence today turned up and went, bang, there you go. There you go. There's your there's your whatever you want to say, like, we're here, don't forget us kind of thing. And I'm not saying he was going to forget them, but it's good. We've walked away with that clean sheet, and that's only gonna look, good for the team moving forward. So that's a positive to take from us.
As confident as I was and cocky at the start of the game, I also said these are the sort of games that we slip up on. And a few of you said, "Oh, get out of it. It's different West Ham." And I said, "No, because I'm looking forward, but also I remember the past, and it is what people call the West Ham way." We could have slipped up today. We almost did. Yeah. But we got the point. Respect that point. I'm drinking a gluten-free Krabby's alcoholic ginger beer. Gluten-free.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it's a green bottle and I've got a green screen, so
it disappears.
Yeah.
It disappears down your gullet. There he goes. Toby, hope you're keeping well. Let us know how you're keeping, mate. Lucky point in the end, considering the big chances. Gary J. Anton, I really just think our boys were tired from the international break. Absolutely. Raymond Debo, ex-keeper here, always have players on the line at corners, saves goals. Absolutely. Flavio Silva, tomorrow. Oh, yep, you're talking about something else. Raymond, saving it for Thursday. GP, hi all, 1 thumb down from Stell, probably. Yep. Pete Chapman, hope you're well. Good to see you. TS Ross, I missed the game. Performance out of 10. We probably will be. We're going to be doing a rating show tomorrow, but yeah, what would you rate that performance, Dan, out of 10?
Maybe an 8.
Really?
A high 8. It was a very good game. We did not concede. We didn't manage to break through the defence. And bear in mind that anytime we was on the attack, there was about eight Southampton players defending. We didn't get the end product.
They part the bus.
But, I mean, if we go back to the stats, if I've still got it, like, you run through the top ones, but in comparison, we had 704 touches of the ball to Southampton's 550. The passes, they had 385. We had 527. Although we stole that 7%, 8% of possession, we had that ball. You know, we just couldn't get the finish on it. Yeah. The reason Southampton had so much of the ball was because their defenders were getting the ball, getting it off at the pitch before we took it off them again. Yeah, and went back at them.
I'll give mine. I mean,
you're going to go with 6 to a 7.
Yeah, I was going to go high 6. I just don't know if I can commit to a 7. I can't commit to an 8. However, you make a good argument. You do make a good argument with that because they did put many bodies behind the line. They did protect their back defence. I think they were shaky. I think the reason why I drop a point for West Ham is because I think we could have attacked them a little bit more. I feel like it wasn't Benny's day today. I don't think he really was at the races today. But I don't think that's going to be a game that knocks us confidence because we're going to have plenty of games coming up over the next 23 days, you could say, that will have a positive effect for all the players. Give them game time. That's the main thing. Pete Chapman, very one-sided Southampton. Oh, sorry, go for it.
Before we move on, let me ask you this: if say 1 or 2 of our shots have gone in and we'd won, say 1-2-0 today, then what would you have rated us?
Yeah, well then I would give you a high 8-9. But we didn't.
But we didn't. But it's only that ball in that particular toe and in that net that changed it.
Yeah. It did. No, you're right. Pete Chapman, very one-sided Southampton, played defensive, Ross, absolutely. James Bong, a good clean sheet for our defence, fair play, Fabs and all, and I include Dex and Suchek in that. I'm sure it will be reflected in the Statos markings tomorrow. Absolutely, James. Thank you. Well, Gary J, yeah, Pete, but we surely gave us a reason to sweat in the second half. There were some reasons I agree, but Southampton set up not to lose rather than win. You're talking about some Portuguese league. Gary, I really like the look of Vlasic. He's going to be solid for us. Yeah, absolutely. Bowen was the dog's danglies. Yes, he was. And we all know he's like talking about the dog's danglies in the Discord chat. Gary J, laughing my ass off. That body slam was stellar. Haha, loved it. It was, mate. It was proper.
We can't go through a single episode without someone bringing Stell into it, can we?
No, absolutely
in one way
not.
or another.
Absolutely. They just got to figure out a way of doing it anyway. Pat said the last two things Yarmo has done when coming on is a wild shot over the bar late on in 2 consecutive games. I think we're going to see a little bit of the Yarmolenko that maybe, hopefully, we've bought him for, which is in the Europa League. I think he may be used effectively well in the Europa League. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt for at least till January and see what he can produce for us. Mandy G saying positives today. Bowen looked really sharp. Vlasic is any kind of space. It's going to cause problems. Not the worst result. Maybe Souček should have scored that headed chance. Gary J, I try not to bash any of our boys, but I think it's time to move on. Yarmo, I do wish him well though. Kaiser will have to play Yarmolenko. Well, I don't know if we will, to be honest, Kaiser. I really don't think we will have to, but we'll see. He's a winger, not a right back. Mandy G.
Antonio.
Yeah. Mandy G, 3 games Souček and Sufal played on international duty. Add that to the mix of loads of other players. Yes, mate. Flavio, thank you. West Ham, my passion. In England, City in Brazil. So you're talking about some game that's going on in Brazil. So good on you, mate. Come on, you irons. Good man. I've already done that one. He's trying to take Stato's job. Danis.
No. I'll tell you what, though, I'm going to have to come in on their show, their stats show one day. Just, what Luke did when he came on without his face up, but he was like the man.
Oh, the man.
I'll have to come in because they are very tight. They are very tight on that show.
Yeah, they are, mate. They are. Toby is saying Southampton nearly turned us over. It doesn't matter how many touches we had, how many games we did win last season in less than 45% possession. We need to know how to react now. We're top 6. Yes, I get it. I do get it, but I still, I don't want to look back at the Southampton game and go, well, it was a game we should have got the points in. But, the Premier League is the Premier League for a reason. And I think sometimes I can't complain 4 games in, 8 points. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there going, well, 4 games in could have been 12 points. But we're only 4 points off that target. So I'll take it.
Here's a banana skin we didn't slip on.
Yeah. Oh, this one. I thought you said here's one.
No, I said there's a banana skin we didn't slip on.
Yeah,
Southampton.
That's true. Pat says, I'll take lucky any day, Toby. Eric John says 8 points. We had 6 this time last year. Yep, I'll take it, to be honest. So that really brings an end to our highlights and words show. It had to be quick. It had to be short. It's not like us. 33 minutes, Dan. Any last words you want to say?
Yeah, just do we need to mention the sponsor?
Football prizes. There's a great prize on just now. So if you keep talking, I'll get that up for people.
Also, don't forget tonight a late show. My Hammers 11 with Russ tonight. Who's he got on tonight?
There you go.
Big name tonight. There we go.
Robbie Slater live at midnight. So make sure you get yourself involved in that. There will be taking live questions as well. So they will be answering your live questions.
Keep them up.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you get on that. Tomorrow, I believe, we're doing a player rating show. And I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe saw another sneaky show kicked in about there. But if we do, we will let you know. I am just going to show you all what this week's prize is from Football Prizes.
Is it me?
It's Dan.
You win me.
There you go. This is what you win.
Look it up. Look at that.
Look at that. Right, this is what you actually do win, though, if you want to enter it. For £6.95, only 65 tickets can be sold. Let's see how many tickets have been sold already. 9 tickets have been sold already, so there's a good chance of winning this prize. I'll put the link in the chat just now.
Oh, wow, that is a prize.
It is a prize, isn't it? So it's a Mark Noble signed and framed original bowling ground seat, Upton Park seat, signed by none other than Mark Noble. So £6.95. I'll put the link in the chat if you want to go and do it. So, yeah, absolutely get involved with that. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. If you are want to go and hit the thumbs up, then go and click the cheeky thumbs up. We're doing the
No,
washing,
not
as
if you
can see.
want. You go and do it. You go and do it. You go and do it. If you don't hit that thumbs up, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and to add things, Jesse Lingard went across to Manchester United today, came off the bench and scored a lovely cheeky goal for them today. So there you go. Maybe it's the future, maybe it's not. We'll see. Anyway, Dan, last word.
Sausages.
We've been West Ham Network. Anton, Dan, come on,
Irons.